Hello, Gophers. My name is Katie, and today we're going to chat about the upcoming University of Minnesota Job and Internship Fair. I'll break down the purpose of the fair, go over some of the employers who will be in attendance, discuss registration and preparation, talk about what clothes to wear, what items to bring, and go over some tips specifically for international students. There are many reasons to attend the fair. I'm going to break down how to make the most of it. The fair is a great resource for students to find potential jobs and internships for the summer, the next semester, and even after graduation. But more than that, at the fair, you'll be able to network. That's right, folks, there's that scary word we all dislike, networking. As nerve-wracking as it may seem, 80% of networking leads to people landing a job. Networking is a valuable skill that helps many people find jobs and internships. Learning how to talk to employers can help you down the line, and you'll be more confident heading into job interviews. Networking is a skill that is beneficial throughout life, so getting practice at it during the job fair is an amazing opportunity. More often, job fairs aren't a place for finding or directly landing a job. It may happen, but more often than not, people leave a job fair with connections to employers instead of explicit job offers. Building relationships and networking will allow you to explore career fields, discover position openings, and learn what kinds of skills employers are seeking for their organizations. Attending the job and internship fair will give you a better understanding of where you want to apply, how to represent yourself, and who to get in touch with to ask questions. Making a positive, lasting impression with employers can help you stand out in the application process. Attending the job and internship fair will give you a better understanding of where you want to apply, how to represent yourself, and who to get in touch with to ask questions. Making positive, lasting impressions with employers can help you stand out in the application process. So who's going to be at the fair? Nearly 300 different employers will be present at the job fair. To get an idea of how diverse the companies are, here are a few who will be there. The Science Museum of Minnesota, Cargill, TCF, Best Buy, and the YMCA. No matter what kind of organization or opportunity you're looking for, you're sure to find at least one who fits your needs. Now let's talk about how you can register for the fair. Registering for the job and internship fair is done through Gold Pass powered by Handshake. For written instructions on how to register, visit jobfair.umn.edu and follow the directions listed there. Carlson undergraduate students will register through The Edge, and Carlson graduate students will register through TalentLink. For all other students, type goldpass.umn.edu in your URL. Find the icon that says Student and Alumni Login Information and click that. You'll be redirected to a different page. On this page, you should see a button that says Student and Alumni Login. Click this button and you will be directed to a login page. Log in with your account or create one if you haven't. Once you're logged in, you'll see a blue bar on the top of the screen. Follow and click on the Events tab. On this page, there will be a button that says Find Career Fairs. After clicking on this button, a list of all upcoming career fairs will appear. Scroll down until you find the University of Minnesota Job and Internship Fair and click on it. On this page, there is a button that says Join Event on the right side. Click on this button and you're registered. It's important to note that registration for the fair is not required, but we highly encourage it because when you register, you will be getting up-to-date information and tips for bringing your best self to the job fair. In this tech-savvy age, I'm happy to say that Handshake is available in app form as well. To download the app, search for Handshake on the App Store or Google Play. You can use this app to browse or apply for jobs. Completing your profile on Handshake is important. Upload your resume, add work experience, and organizations that you're affiliated with, and you'll be 5 times more likely to be messaged by employers. Handshake is a great tool that can help you advance in your professional life. There is also an app specifically for the fair called Guidebook. It allows you to create a list of employers you want to visit, store notes or questions you have for employers, access a map of the fair, find transportation information, and more. We highly recommend everyone attending the fair download this app. To do so, search University of Minnesota in your app store. Once you've downloaded the U of M's Guidebook app, Search University of Minnesota Job and Internship Fair 2019. Now that we've talked about some of the details of the fair, it's time to discuss how to prepare. Preparing for a career fair looks different for everyone, but generally, there's a few things it's important to do. Finding out which employers are going to be present at the fair is an important step in preparing. Through jobfair.umn.edu, under the Prepare Before the Fair section, there are lists of employers by industry. These lists indicate if they're hiring for jobs or internships, if they'll be interviewing at the fair, and whether they're open to hiring international students. Once you know which employers are going to be at the fair, you'll be able to determine which employers you want to speak to and which jobs you're interested in. See if you can find more detailed position descriptions on Gold Pass powered by Handshake or on organization websites. Then figure out the matches between what you have to offer and what employers are looking for. Think about it this way. You should know why you want to work or intern at a certain company, how the position is good for you, and what skills and experiences you will bring to the position. This mindset can help you shape what kinds of conversations you'll have with employers. Another step in being prepared for the career fair is having a resume. Writing a resume can be a difficult task for many people, but luckily there are great resources on campus for students to get help with their resumes. To get help with resumes, students can visit the Career Services Office associated with their college. Our Career Services offices allow students to get their resumes and cover letters reviewed. To find information about the Career Services Office for your college, visit career.umn.edu. Be prepared that not all employers will accept a paper resume at the fair. Many will refer you to apply online. While this is expected, it still makes a good impression to come prepared with resumes and will put you at an advantage with those employers who still look for paper copies. Remember, the fair is often more about networking and making a good impression than landing a job on the spot. So imagine this. You've arrived to the booth of an employer and you are very interested in working for, but you don't know what to say. Here are some tips on how to talk with employers. When you introduce yourself, remember to include your name, major, year in school, and some skills and goals. Make sure your introduction is no longer than 30 seconds and that you are confident, curious, and conversational. You want to make a positive impression, so make sure to silence your cell phone and avoid chewing gum, which, surprisingly, is a common complaint of employers. Also, refrain from asking about salary and benefits, as it's too early in the process for this. I'll give an example of an introduction that I might use. Hi, my name is Katie. I'm a senior history student at the University of Minnesota. In addition to studying history at the U, I've gained a wide range of experience working in the Career Services Office, studying abroad in Germany, and interning in professional theater. I'm graduating in May and hoping to find a full-time position which will allow me to utilize the skills I've developed and continue to grow professionally. But 2 years ago, as a sophomore seeking an internship, I might have used this introduction. Hi, my name is Katie, and I'm a sophomore studying history at the University of Minnesota. This year I began working as a peer advisor at the College of Liberal Arts Career Services Office, and this semester I've also been serving as a marketing intern with the Minnesota Daily. I am now looking for a summer internship to help me further grow and utilize my skills. The goal is to initiate conversation, albeit short, and to have fun. Be as interested in them as you hope they are in you. For more tips on how to make networking as easy and enjoyable as possible, visit jobfair.umn.edu/prepare/fair. Part of making a good, positive first impression is looking your best. Some things you'll want to avoid wearing are denim and distressed jeans, sweatshirts, and hats. Suits are not required, however. Most students dress in business casual attire. Colors and patterns are fine, and it's important to showcase your personality. Dress in a way that's authentic to how you would want to be perceived in the workplace. Also, make sure whatever you wear is comfortable, as you'll likely be doing a lot of walking and moving around throughout the fair. To help you find some inspiration on what to wear, We've created a Pinterest board with our favorite business casual looks. Visit z.umn.edu/career-pinterest to find some good looks and inspiration. There are also a few items that are important to bring with you. Generally, you should have at least 10 copies of your resume printed out with you. Come prepared with something to write with and questions to ask employers. A Padfolio isn't required, but it is a presentable accessory to take notes with and hold resumes. However, a notebook and folder will work fine as well. There will be a student lounge at the fair with career counselors available to answer questions, go over last-minute advice and strategy, and give you feedback on your pitch. They're eager to help and are great at calming nerves. Consider arriving a little early and including the student lounge in a plan for your day. Finally, today, I'm going to touch on some tips for international students. As an international student attending the job fair, there are a few important things to remember. First, internships or jobs must be in the area of your major. You also need to know your CPT or OPT rules for when you can work and for how long. You will need to explain this to American employers, as they likely won't know. It's important to be clear and upfront with this information. If you're unsure about this information, contact ISSS, the International Student and Scholar Services. Also, know that there will be ISSS staff available for the day of the fair. Large employers often have rules about whether they will hire international students and will let you know right away. Smaller companies generally are more open to hiring international students. It's also important to know what your competitive advantage is. What do you bring to the company that they need? This means you'll need to know the company and know yourself. For more help on how to prepare for the job and internship fair as an international student, visit jobfair.umn.edu and click on International Students in the drop-down menu of the Prepare tab. So Gophers, 3 things you can do now to prepare for the fair are: identify 3 to 5 employers and organizations you want to connect with at the fair. Prepare your introduction and at least 2 questions. And update your resume if you haven't already. Finally, we have a couple of tips for what to do at and after the fair. During conversations with employers, collect business cards and afterward, send thank you emails. This is the crucial step that could make or break your results from the fair. Take notes on the back of business cards to remind you of what you discussed. Mention those unique points in your thank you email and reiterate your qualifications. Remember, your Career Services office is a great place to get help with fair follow-up. You can also find all of these suggestions and further tips on jobfair.umn.edu. That's it, Gophers. The University of Minnesota Job and Internship Fair is a great place to find opportunities and network with employers. No matter what your end goal is, the U of M Job and Internship Fair is sure to be helpful in some way. For the University of Minnesota, I'm Katie. Thanks.